Hello friends, I'm back with new video. So today we will discuss what is database constraints, and in that they have written that DBMS can enforce several constraints for smooth operations on database. That it have several constraints. So what is the meaning of constraints? First of all, these are some restrictions. Constraints are also called the restrictions over the commands by which we can do the operations, whatever the operation is. So with the help of this we can specify some particular kind of restrictions, that which kind of data is going to be added on and which is not. So DBMS can enforce several constraints for smooth operations on databases. These constraints can be specified while the creating of the table as shown below. So you can check below. The first constraint is not null, and in this that an attribute, which is a column name, like column is also known as attribute, an attribute value may not be permitted to be null when we have written not null with any column. Like you can see here in the first name we have specified not null, so we need to insert the data inside it. It is compulsion. We cannot free this column without any value. We have to fill it. So for example, the first name of the teacher cannot be null because we have specified here not null. Hence not null constraint can be specified in this case. So other table, you know already how to make the table. If you doesn't know, then you can check out the video in the I button. So by this way we can specify the constraint of not null on the column which we doesn't want to be null. Next is default. If you want to specify any default value, for example in a salary, then you can here, if by default if any teacher's salary is not specified, if any new teacher is coming in the department, then by default the salary is given there. So this is a default setting which we can done inside the table. While we creating a table, at that time we can set a default value. We can later on change it with the help of alter command. Okay, this is the another constraint. Second, default. If a user has not entered a value of an attribute, then default value specified while creating the table is used. For example, if teacher's salary has been entered, then by default the database should store this much, assuming that the minimum salary given to the teacher is this. So this is illustrated as follows, which you can see here in the table creation form. Next is, so you can see here by default this setting is done. So next one is check constraint. Here we are defining any particular decision making statement. Like here you can see less than equal to 110 department number. So we need to check out that if the department is less than or equal to 110, then so in order to restrict the value of a particular attribute within a range, then check constraint may be used. Okay, and this is the example we have, you can check out. Next we have a key constraint. In that we can specify a primary key of a table, that we can specify it in two ways. If the primary key of a table consists of a single attribute, then according to that corresponding attribute can be declared primary key along with its description that you can see here. In that we have teacher ID as a primary key. Okay, so by this way we can specify a primary key, and you already know what is the primary key, what is the foreign key. If you doesn't know, you can check out the video in the I button. So primary key is something by which we can enter the value uniquely, and that particular column who is in primary key, we cannot make it null. We have to put some value inside it which should be unique with all other values which is in the table. So here is the primary key we have, you can check out, which is that teacher ID. So that is how we can specify a key constraint. Or any another kind of key we can also put here. Instead of primary key we have a lot more other keys also. Next we have, at last we have referential integrity constraint, and in this constraint that is used to specify using a foreign key. And if you doesn't know what is a foreign key, you can check out the video in the I button. Okay, so in previous we are using most of the time primary key, in that we are going to be used the foreign key. And that referential integrity constraint is a detailed topic which we will discuss in any another video. And that is how the key constraints are working. That is how you can say the major topic, which is that database constraints are going to be work, that how can we put the restrictions over the table while we are creating it. So that is what the topic is. And see you in the next video. Take care and stay tuned, because a lot more other videos are going to be added in the playlist of database and also in the Java. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Take care.